You're listening to Audio Buddha and Me Daily, where every story, every teaching, is a gentle breath of peace. Let your mind settle and allow each word to flow like a cool stream, touching the quietest corners of your heart. There is a kind of peace that cannot be bought and cannot be found outside. It lives deep within each of us, but sometimes we forget. Until life becomes too loud, until pain or loss arrives, and we are forced to return to the silence that has always been there. The Dalai Lama once said, "Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions." Tonight, let us walk together through 10 of his timeless teachings to remember the way back home to the peace that never truly left us. 1. Happiness comes from within. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. The Dalai Lama. Happiness doesn't come from what we have, but from how we live with what we have. Many people spend their whole lives chasing happiness outside of themselves. A better job, a bigger house, a perfect love. And yet, when they finally get it, the joy is brief and fades away. The Dalai Lama teaches that happiness is not a destination. It's a journey. It doesn't come from what we receive, but from what we give each day. Think about it. When you help someone, offer a kind word, or simply smile at a person who is sad, a warmth rises within you. That is happiness, born from your own actions, not given by anyone else. And happiness is not always joy. Sometimes it's the quiet peace of being okay, even when life isn't. It's the ability to accept what cannot be changed and still walk forward with a gentle smile. He said that if we live with good intentions, if we place compassion before desire, then every small act, washing the dishes, sweeping the floor, or listening with patience, can become a path to happiness. So, don't look for happiness in the future or in other people. Find it here, in this moment, through kindness, gratitude, and ease of heart. Compassion is the root of happiness. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. The Dalai Lama. We all wish to be understood, to be loved, to be seen. But the Dalai Lama reminds us, the way to be loved is to learn to love first. Compassion is not pity. It's the ability to step into another's pain and still keep a gentle heart. Compassion doesn't shout. It is quiet, like the soft morning light that warms the coldest corners of the human soul. He said, "When you open your heart, joy flows in. When you close it, you cut yourself off from happiness." We often think happiness comes from getting what we want, but sometimes true happiness comes from knowing that someone suffers less because of our presence. When you listen to a person who is in despair, without judgment, simply being there, their pain softens. And in that moment, you are healed too. That is the quiet power of compassion. It not only warms others, it soothes the wounds within ourselves. When we live with compassion, the world around us begins to change. A look, a smile, a gentle word becomes a seed of peace. Compassion doesn't make us weak. It makes us strong from within, because only those who understand suffering can truly love. 3. Don't let others destroy your inner peace. How many times have we lost our peace over a few words, a harsh judgment, or someone's passing anger? The Dalai Lama reminds us, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. Protect your heart with gentleness. Forgive softly. And remember, no storm outside can ever disturb the calm lake within you. 4. Love and compassion are essential. Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. Without kindness, the world turns cold. Without empathy, we lose ourselves. Love is not weakness. It is the deepest strength of all. 5. In tolerance, the enemy becomes the teacher. In the practice of tolerance, one's enemy is the best teacher. The Dalai Lama. When we first hear this, it feels impossible. How can someone who hurts us be called a teacher? But the Dalai Lama doesn't mean a teacher of words. He means those who reveal who we truly are. When we're surrounded by kindness and approval, we don't see our inner edges. Only when someone triggers our anger, our pride, or our pain do we see the limits of our compassion. Our enemies are mirrors. They show us what we have yet to release. They reflect our unhealed wounds, our stubbornness, our ego. He said, those who love us show us the beauty of the world. Those who dislike us help us grow. Without them, how would we learn patience? How would we understand real forgiveness? How would we know that compassion is not just for the gentle, but for those who are difficult too? When we learn to see with understanding instead of hate, our hearts become steady. We no longer react, but begin to see the root of pain in them and in ourselves. Even betrayal, even cruelty can become our greatest lesson. To love without resentment, to forgive without feeling defeated. Tolerance is not weakness. It is the strength of those who understand impermanence, that everyone suffers and everyone makes mistakes. Those who hurt us the most are often the ones who teach us how to stay peaceful in the storm. 6. Not getting what you want can be a blessing. Remember that sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. Life sometimes closes a door, not to punish us, but to guide us toward the path meant for us. Loss can be a hidden gift. When we stop resisting, we begin to see the blessing inside what was lost. 7. Be kind whenever possible. Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. Every moment is a chance to be gentle. A smile, a thank you, a small act of forgiveness. Each softens the world. The more kindness we give, the lighter our hearts become. 8. When you are wrong, make it right. When you realize you've made a mistake, take immediate steps to correct it. Humility is the bridge to wisdom. Don't fear admitting mistakes. For in that moment, you are learning freedom. Mistakes don't make us small. Refusing to learn from them does. 9. Success is measured by what you let go of. Judge your success by what you had to give up in order to get it. The Dalai Lama. We often think success means having more wealth, more status, more admiration. But the Dalai Lama teaches that true success lies not in what we gain, but in what we have the courage to let go of. Some things, the tighter we hold, the more they hurt. The more we try to prove ourselves, the further we drift from who we are. Some reach the top of the world, but lose their peace, their sleep, their joy, because they traded serenity for the glare of success. Others live simply, yet carry calm hearts, because they know when to stop, when to smile, when to be content. True success is not having everything, but being bound by nothing. Sometimes, walking away from an argument, letting go of resentment, or choosing peace over pride, is the greatest victory of all. He said, "When you learn to let go, your hands become free to receive peace." Success isn't found in others' eyes, but in your own quiet heart, when you lay your head down at night. If there is no anger, no fear, no comparison, then even with empty hands, you are truly free. Sometimes the greatest climb is not upward, but inward. To stop, to breathe, and to see that peace was never gone. 10. The purpose of life is to help others. Our prime purpose in this life is to help others, and if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. The Dalai Lama. Life, whether long or short, only finds meaning when we live for someone or something beyond ourselves. We were not born merely to exist, but to make life a little lighter for others, to let someone's heart feel warmer because we were here. The Dalai Lama teaches that helping others is the shortest path to happiness, because when we make someone smile, we also smile within. Helping doesn't have to be grand. Sometimes it's just a kind word, a moment of listening, or simply choosing not to cause harm. He reminds us, if you can't help, at least don't make things worse. The world already carries enough pain. Don't add to it with harsh words, indifference, or cold eyes. When we open our hearts to help, we not only change another's life, we transform our own. Because between giving and receiving, there is no real boundary. A hand reaching out, even for a moment, can lift a soul from despair. And in that moment we realize the meaning of life is not measured by how many years we live, but by how many hearts we make lighter. Help others, not because they need it, but because only through love we truly live. 10 teachings, all leading to one truth. Peace is not something to find. Peace is something to remember, because it never left you. Take a deep breath, smile softly, and whisper to yourself, "I am home."